Sick and tired of your love-hate relationship with wine?
Welcome to the Feel It Alcohol Free podcast. Hi, I'm Coach Ruby Williams.
And I'm Coach Susan Larkin.
We're two former wine lovers turned alcohol freedom coaches, exposing the lies about alcohol
and giving you, our listeners, the tools to break free so you can feel lit.
And when you're lit, you'll feel healthier, freer, and more in control of your life.
So relax, kick back, and get ready to feel lit alcohol free.
Hello. Welcome back to the Feel It Alcohol Free podcast. Hello. And I'm going to say the words, good morning. It is morning where I am right now when I'm recording this, but we're going to be talking about the morning. So good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Susan. Yeah. Hello. So there's so much talk about having a morning routine. I mean, you've probably heard it. I've heard it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we got a question from a listener. I'm struggling with this. Why is a morning routine so important? Why is it so important? Do you want to start us off, Susan?
Well, I think it helps set the tone for your day. I think it also, for me, it helps me get back in touch with my heart, my body, because I tend to be a go person. So I could just get up and just throw myself in the shower and then just go off and not check in internally with myself, And then there's all the sciencey benefits that we've been hearing from Dr. Huberman and Mel Robbins and et cetera about getting up and getting the morning sunshine, fresh air, setting an intention, gratitude, drinking water, staying off social media, delaying coffee. I mean, you could just go on and on. There's so much advice out there. So it can be tricky to go, well, what do I need to do? What do I want to do? What feels good for me? Yeah. So it can be confusing, right?
Right. Totally. There's so much. You nailed it. There's just so much advice out there. Yeah. And when I think about my morning routine when I was drinking, there wasn't really, I had one, of course, but it was more just, get out of bed, take off my makeup from the night before, feel like crap, drink coffee as fast as I can, just do the bare minimum so I could get out the door and go to work. That's what it was like.
Yeah. Assess the damage. That was the first thing would be wake up and go, oh, wait. How do I feel? Did I drink too much last night? If I felt good, then it was a good day. I feel so, even if I had a couple glasses of wine, I would be because I stayed within my limits. Okay, I feel good. If I didn't feel good, even if it was the same amount of alcohol, because sometimes it affects you differently if you've eaten, et cetera, then it was a bad day. Then I was bad. And I'd start the day off beating myself up, thinking I'm bad, assessing the damage in the mirror, and just starting my day off just feeling terrible about myself and beating myself up. And so, it was miserable. And
if you're there, you're not alone. That's what happens. But how, I'll ask you, how did you start when you started your alcohol-free journey? What was it like in the early days? And how did you get started on a morning routine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had been doing the Divine Hours, which is a morning Bible study type of thing with God's Word, before I went through the process of really digging in and choosing an alcohol-free lifestyle and going all in with it. And so that was part of it still, so for me, the touch points I want to make in the morning are God, gratitude, checking in again with my body. But there were a lot of things I learned in my early sobriety journey where I was oh yeah, this really helps me. So it was checking in with the group program that I was doing. It was checking in on a lesson or information, a lot of people in the alcohol-free community talk about, you wake up with the intentionality of, what am I reading today to help me stay alcohol-free? What am I choosing, writing in my journal, that kind of stuff. So in the beginning, or also doing yoga was a big one for me. So in the beginning, I think it was really important for it to be about that intentionality for my alcohol freedom, because I was still changing those neural pathways, right? So it was important to do something towards my alcohol freedom setting the stage every morning to like be a pillar. I call it like the pillars. So what is the pillar at the morning? Do you have any pillars throughout the day that help you stay alcohol free? And then an evening routine also. So the morning pillar was very, very important in my alcohol freedom journey. And then now it's sort of morphing into a different state, and so it's about experimenting. And even then it was about experimenting with what felt good and what served me and what serves my overall intention. So that's where I come back to, as far as like, there's all this information out there, but what works for you? Again, it has to work
how
for
do you
you.
want to feel? We're gonna
Yes.
We always
It's always
keep,
coming back to
keep
that.
asking, how do you want to feel?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even now when I go through periods of stress, or I lose my morning routine, it kind of like just or not all the way. I still have some, usually it's not 100% gone, but for me, I would build on it. I didn't just say tomorrow I'm going to do 10 things in the morning, or actually I probably tried that. Like, oh, Mel Robbins said this and he said that and Susan says this and right. So I'm going to do all of them tomorrow morning. Well, that doesn't work for me. I mean, I might be able to do it for a couple of days or something, but then it's just too much. So I like to build on it. So I remember I would be like, okay, I'm going to do one thing and then build on that, get a pattern, get it going, and then maybe add the next thing. But for me, I love when I learn tiny habits, and the tiny habit, the one that they even just talk about in the free, you can do this free thing with them, and is the second you wake up, you put your feet on the ground and you thank, I put my hands up. That's like my reward, like hands in the air. And I thank the universe, thank God, I just say thank you for today, right? It's like gratitude. That's the very first thing. And then for me, the very next thing I do, unless I have to use the restroom, but I go and I do meditation. And if you're watching the YouTube, you can see my visual. My visual here, I'm going to make room for it. I have a little tray here, and this is my meditation tray, and it's got a candle. So I want to do all my senses when I meditate. I have a candle that smells like lemon verbena. I have a meditation singing bowl.
Ooh, I like that.
And then I have different scent. I have Palo Santo, I have sage, I have rosemary, whatever I feel like. So I'm like using my senses while I go into meditation. So I definitely do that. So I've got a candle, a scent, and then a sound. And then you look at your taste. So part of my meditation is, I get my senses really like activated. And then I do my meditation. That's like really, really important. But again, when I go through, this is one thing that does go when I'm like stressed. And what do I do when I'm stressed? I might go to my phone. Like we all probably have when we're good and we're doing, not that we're judging, but like when we're like on top of everything, I meditate, and then I go to the bathroom and I drink a big glass of, first I weigh myself, then I do a big glass of water. This is like always. Then I high five myself in the mirror and like my reward is coffee when I've done my whole morning routine. And then I listen to, while I'm taking a shower, which I end with a cold shower, but while I'm taking a shower, I listen to a guided meditation called Today is a New Day. Kind of like an affirmation. It's like, today is a new day. You get to experience today and the grace of today. And you aren't guaranteed today. So today is a new day is a really, really, I would say that's my number one morning practice that I do not fail for probably 5 years.
Wow.
Every day. Yeah. Tell me more about your
That's
routine.
so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, my routine is changing. Once I retired from Yale, I was, going to a corporate job or going to a job every day, right? Which most people do. And so I had a routine that I did then. When I retired in June and became full-time coaching, I felt like I needed time in the morning, was like this new luxury that I hadn't had before. And I wanted what I would call this fiddle fart around time or slow mornings. Like I wanted to be able to get up and at that time it was the summer and I would go out and do my grounding, put my feet in the grass and be in the sunshine. But this idea of like I was battling this like, but no, I have to get started with my day versus this desire, this need to probably just decompress, and de-stress from 20 years of that kind of lifestyle. But I was fighting it because I kept going, no, I have to be productive, And so that's where I come back to, you really have to get something that you have to still be in tune with what you need, what you feel. And I love this from Yoga with Adrienne, find what feels good. Because if, again, back to our shoulding episode, if you're shoulding yourself, like I should have a morning routine, I should meditate, I should do this, I should walk, I should, you're just going to start off with, cognitive dissonance. So I think that it's really important to change it up. I mean, discipline is important as well. I could be very disciplined. So it's like this balance of what do I need? What works for me? What do I know is a pillar that sets me up for my best day? But it's similar to the exercise question, like forcing yourself to do a Peloton bike when you just don't like it. It's like find the exercise you love. So it's like find the morning routine you love.
Exactly.
Like I don't love meditating first thing in the morning.
Oh, I love it.
I know you love it. And I just am like too active. That just makes me, I'm too squirmy. Like for me, meditation in the afternoon is very nourishing and relaxing. And it's like perfect time to take a break. But in the morning, I am raring to go. And so I need to get into my body. And so what I do is same thing. I do kind of a sun salutation, looking out at this one window in my room on my yoga mat, praising God. I put on some worship music and I do what I call it. And, I'm always making up names for stuff, my own little Susanisms. I call it stroga because it's a combination of these stretches that like open up my hips and are, good for my body to wake up my body, and yoga poses. So I do my little stroga routine. I do a little tiny check-in with God I have done the divine hours for so many years. Now I'm doing another little daily God's word thing with Beth Moore. And it's, just like a daily thing. I check in. So I call it God in gratitude because I am trying to develop the skill of having a more grateful heart. But it is something you can learn because I see that as putting my mind in the right frame of mind. So God in gratitude, stroga, but it's short because my morning time is my most productive time. And so I want to get to whatever I want to get done that day. I feel like it's valuable for me to either do some writing for like my newsletter or to do some planning for my business,
Yeah. For me, meditation, it actually gives me energy, which is interesting that you're saying it centers me. I get into my body and I get into my mind. I get downloaded things in the morning from the universe. Like I literally, and then it sets the tone for my whole day of calm. So when you said that, or asked the question, what do I want to feel? And I always am searching for a calm mind. Because I think I am also a little like, I'm like, my word of the year was supercharged. Like, yeah. So I like to be supercharged and have energy, but with my day, I'm searching for that calmness, that peace. And so I love that. And then my reward for like, if I do all my little things in the morning, that's my coffee. So my coffee comes kind of last. Like, I also wanted to mention this, you guys, for all the listeners out there and for you, Susan. I think superpower is to get ready for the day. Like every day, put on my makeup, do my hair. Like I think it makes me feel good. And it's like, if anything happens today,
you're ready.
I'm ready. Like I'm ready. Like if someone were to say, hey,
jump on a call.
Jump on a call or you got, So I think that's, instead of, I think when COVID hit and I was working from home and, that whole like, I just didn't care so much about getting dressed, or I always look good on the top, but sometimes, you're wearing pajama pants but I think just getting ready for the day is very important to me.
Yeah.
As part of my routine.
Yeah. No, I love nature. I feel calm from doing my stroga routine. And I feel the calmness, but it's like a calm that comes from movement, if that makes sense. Like
Totally.
when I sit there and try to meditate, I get anxious. So, you know, but so for me, also a walk in nature, but I'm really struggling with it because it's like 17 degrees here right now.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I'm missing my time out, grounding, putting my feet in the grass,
Susan,
being in sunshine.
why don't you put your feet in the snow?
Yeah, right. So, I mean, it depends on the coldness, but yeah, a walk. But usually what I try to do is the walk as a break. So get up, do my shorter morning routine, do a little bit of work, take a break after some of the work, and then do my walk out when it's warmed up a little bit. But the walk is also, it's in nature, it's listening, no headphones, no podcast, maybe walking with someone and having a conversation, but being able to hear the birds. So this is my notice nature. And just walk is very calming. Your mind, when you're walking, that's when I get the downloads, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a walking meditation.
I
So
love
I'm getting the downloads. So the evening time is when I connect more with meditation, a guided meditation, where, you know, that's where I start to downshift, and meditation helps it. But I've heard, because we've roomed together. So I've heard your guided meditation in the morning, and your morning song, which I love. That's your alarm.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that. You guys,
It's
you
the
can
best song.
you can
It's
put a really
beautiful.
positive song. I'll put it in I'll try to put it in the Facebook group for you guys.
Yeah.
It's about I'm excited to be happy. I'm excited, or it's about just that you're here, you're alive, and, you know, just wake up and feel good. Yeah, I forgot about that. My alarm has this beautiful song.
Yeah.
And my nature walk is, I have to take my dog out, you know, to do his business every morning.
Yeah.
So even if it's just 5 minutes, or if I could take him for a little longer walk, the first thing in the morning is just a quick, you know, quick walk. But yeah, I listen. I don't have headphones, and it's cold, and I love that time. But you know what, Susan? I do my yoga and exercise after work.
Yeah.
And it's been working really well for me. So instead of
Good.
like, as soon as I'm done with my work day, I go do yoga or hot Pilates. So I think we're kind of, which is great because we're different, right? This is emphasizing how different everybody is, and that you need to find what works for you.
Yeah. And, you know, it doesn't have to be a half hour or a 2 hour or
right.
You know, but it's what works for you and what is setting you up to hit your goals, and find what feels good, because that's what's good. You're going to continue to do it because it feels good for you. Like the stroga really feels good for me to wake up and stretch my body and listen to some worship music. Then helps me engage with the daily scripture that is in my little daily book, and prayer, you know, for family members or whoever. But it's not a long routine for me. That's just not what's working for me. So it is an experiment too, and it doesn't stay the same forever. Like for me also, some days I write, some days I don't. You know, I do a little, if I feel like I've got a lot of garbage up here, then I'm like, I need to do a brain download, and I need to do that, you know, a little bit this morning. So, and then I pair that with coffee, because I'm like, oh, I'll have my coffee and do my little writing. And so
a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
I think that we can't emphasize enough that morning routines change, and morning routines morph. You feel you need something for a while. You need more, maybe really strenuous exercise first thing for a while in your life, but then that's not what you want anymore. You want meditation. I mean, there's so many different things you can try. I did a group once that was called, I'm drawing a blank, but it has the morning pages in it. And
the Artist's Way.
The Artist's Way. I did a group with the Artist's Way, going through the book, and it was amazing to do that. But I didn't keep it up. I mean, maybe I'll go back to it because it was really enjoyable, but that took 45 minutes of, more of my morning. So it didn't quite work out with my lifestyle now. So yeah, do what works for you.
I think it's important to have one, but it's important to find the one that works for you. And then you can look at the science and you can see the science behind sunshine or grounding and then try it, see how it feels. Like I remember trying to force myself to meditate in the mornings. Like, I have to do this. I should do this. Everybody says this, you should do this. And I was like, it just wasn't working for me. But it ended up beating myself up or shooting myself. And so that's just counterintuitive. So, and I like your idea of starting with one thing. And this is the tiny habits thing. If you don't have any routine, like you said, don't start with 10 things. Just start with one thing and then get into the habit of doing that one thing. Yeah. And then does this feel good? Is this what you want to do? And then I'm going to maybe next week try a different thing. And then does this feel good? And then do these two things feel good together? Yeah.
And include a beverage. You can habit stack too. Or for me, it's like I go into the bathroom in the morning and it's just like little triggers. Now it's almost like brushing my teeth, like use the restroom. I weigh in. Now, some people, I don't like to weigh every day. I love to just monitor it. It's just like something that's like putting what you track or what you monitor and track, you can notice if something's going. So I weigh myself, I drink big thing of water like this, bring one into the bathroom with me, and I can't leave the bathroom. And when I'm done drinking, that's when I go, high five. So then I'm happy. But I think the easiest, like I said, one of the easiest first routines you could even do is just when your feet hit the ground in the morning, you the first thing is like gratitude, whatever that means for you. You just, such an easy. And then celebrate. So part of tiny habits is celebrate. So for me, celebrating is putting my arms up or high-fiving the mirror, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah.
Simple. Well, this is the fun part of our podcast, Susan. I know we talked a lot already about what feels good in the morning, but what do you do to feel lit alcohol-free?
Well, I want to make one point before we shift to that is, in your early alcohol-free journey, it really is important to have something every morning that sets you up for staying alcohol-free for the day, whatever that is. If it's listening to a podcast, reading, some Quitlet, or if you're doing a program, doing the work for the program, you know what I mean? Watching the video or reading a little something, or just connecting with, I used to do this through the divine hours, this prayer at the end. And at the very end, I'd say, and help me not to drink today. You know what I mean? It was like setting that intention. So I think it is really important in the early alcohol freedom days, that's of having something in your morning that sets you up for success. Anyway, as that pillar.
Yeah.
So, and experimenting with the other things too. But that's where in the early alcohol freedom, that's where I think it really is important to have a pillar, some sort of pillar in the morning that sets you up for success. And one of those can be what I'm going to share for what my feel it is that I've been doing. If you've worked with me at all, or even on the podcast, I am the sticky note queen. I'm the one saying always write that on a sticky note, put it on your mirror and look at it every day and read it to yourself. And I do that too. I practice what I preach.
Me too.
I have 3 sticky notes on things that I'm working on for myself. I guess you can call them affirmations. They are affirmations. For me, they are me working on rewiring some negative thoughts, which we've talked about on the podcast, and just reminding myself kind of my word of the year, which is abundance and trust. And so one of my sticky notes is, I am trusting God. I feel abundant. So it's like waking up and just reminding myself that my word is trust, my word is abundance, and going through that sequence.
I love
and it's from this book called Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die. This sequence of I choose, I feel, I am. So I'm choosing to trust. I feel abundant, or I feel secure, or I feel calm, or I feel peace, and I am confident. And you come up with the sequence that works for you, and that's rewiring this old, I'm doing it wrong, or da 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 da. You know what I mean? That I had I could fall into. So it could be anything that is your morning, could be, I choose to be alcohol free. I feel, you know what I mean? It could be whatever works for you, right? From whatever word you're choosing or whatever your intention is. I choose to feel alive today. I choose gratitude. I choose, and then how do you feel? And then it's an identity. I am. It's claiming. You know how often we say, I am tired. I am this. It's like we're claiming that as ourselves.
Love that word. Claim.
But we don't want to claim those things. So what are we claiming? Yeah.
Claim what you want. Claim what feels good.
Claim the identity that you want. Yeah. I am secure. Powerful. I am positive. I am grateful. I am. So it's I'm choosing this. I feel this. I am this. To make up your own affirmations, or I don't even really call it an affirmation, but it is a rewiring of my thoughts. And so that's where when people have a breakthrough, let's say when I'm doing a rewiring of a thought work with a client and we have a new thought, which is like, no, alcohol makes everything worse. I'm like, write that down and look at it every day. Alcohol makes everything worse. That's the new neural pathway. Because then the little voice goes, oh, it's okay. Just have one. It'll make you feel better. It'll help you handle this better. Da, 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 da. But no, the truth is alcohol makes everything worse. And so you have to keep grooving that new neural pathway. And so having a sticky note, reading it, it's on my mirror every time I brush my teeth.
I love it. I use sticky pads too, Post-its everywhere. I think it's really helpful. I use that too with clients. I love it. Yeah. Susan, thank you so much for sharing that daily affirmations with sticky notes. I think it's going to help a lot of people, a lot of our listeners. It's a really powerful tool to use. And please share your morning routines with us. We gave you just some of our ideas. There's a million out there, like we said. And so you get to choose what feels good for you. And again, it can just set your intention for the day. And there's proven science behind setting a morning routine. It could be as, easy or light touch as possible, or it could be hours long. I mean, I've heard it all. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for listening to Feel Lit Alcohol Free Podcast. Do you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show?
All you need to do is head over to Apple Podcasts and do two simple things. Leave a rating and review telling us what you think of the show. And in that review, ask us any questions you have about breaking free from wine or living an alcohol-free lifestyle.
That's it. Then tune in to hear your question answered live.
And remember, do something today that will help you feel lit.